if you have your list, either through your store, or you have it grown through lead gen campaigns, like the next step obviously is to start a relationship with those customers. A mistake often people make is that they use the email list just to sell something to people. With your email list, you can imagine it as a good friend.
Welcome to the High Voltage Business Builders, a show where we interview entrepreneurs growing and scaling their income through e-commerce and showing you the path to make your first or next million. All right, folks, welcome back to the call. I have with me Jacob here. We're going to be talking about email marketing, specifically for e-commerce on both Amazon, direct consumer marketing, the power of it. And of course, if you're going to get into email marketing, you should probably consider SMS too. Based on what he's been telling me, this is something you guys want to pay attention to. Welcome to the call, Jacob.
Thank you for having me on. I'm excited for this podcast.
Yeah, man. So let's get into it, right? What's the tips? What's your biggest thing? What's the biggest knowledge bomb you want to dive into around email marketing? Something that most people probably don't know, something I know you know. What do you want to share with us?
Sure thing. Like there's a lot of things we can talk about. We've generated over multiple eight figures in terms of email marketing through our clients with our agency. So there's multiple things we can talk about. In terms of this episode, I think what could be the most actionable thing what a lot of people could take action on is the just here on the corner, there's Black Friday. And obviously, e-commerce, Black Friday, that is the hottest thing of the year. Those are the most important weeks of the year where people make the most amount of money. So I think we could focus more around that, how you can actually maximize the sales you do through that period. Obviously, through your paid media channels, everybody's on there. Everybody's blasting as much money through paid ads as they can, but a lot of people often forget emails. With emails, that is basically where most of your profits should be coming during the Black Friday sale, because it's an audience you own. It does not cost anything to send out emails to that audience, and that audience already knows you, they trust you, so it's going to be much, much, much easier for you to sell to them. Here, do you want me to dive into like a specific strategy session or like strategy tips, or like how would you think I should structure this?
Yeah, man, let's preface that by getting somebody involved in, okay, I don't have an email list. Why should I do it now? Should I have done it yesterday? What should I do? Like, let's get to the fundamentals initially, and then we'll go into that strategy in just a second, if you don't mind.
Sure thing. So basically to start off, like if you're doing e-commerce, so you must have an email list already. So if you have like a running e-commerce store, doesn't matter if you're doing 1K, 10K, 100K, a million a month, you already have some kind of customer list. What you need to do, if you don't have any email marketing at all, first thing you do after this podcast, sign up on any email marketing platform. Klaviyo most likely is going to be the best. It's automatically going to have your customer list. And right now you can get to work to building out a relationship with your customers. They have bought from you, but you have not sent them out any emails. Now would be the best time to start doing that.
Klaviyo is something that predominantly connects to, say, a Shopify store or a front-end e-commerce channel, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so if I'm on the Amazon side, where should I go?
On the Amazon side of things, I think that's would be very limited. On Amazon, at the moment, I have not heard of anything like specific email marketing. So with Amazon people, you would be a bit more left on the sidelines in this case. This is more so if you like own the data, you have the email list, then you need some kind of tool to basically nurture that list, to make sure you have like all the data for the list, how much revenue generating to you, and so on. So
let's say I just wanted to capture a list, right? I just need to get on, an active campaign or a send lane or something like that to get an email, list build started and off the ground, right?
Yeah, exactly. But say any of those tools, and then you can get started. If you don't have a list for whatever reason, there's also like multiple things you can do. I would always recommend having the natural organic list, which comes through basically you running your store. That list basically contains your customer data, your existing customers and people that have went to your site but maybe have not bought. That is always hands down going to be the most highest quality list you can have. But you can also then run some specific lead gen email campaigns focused on generating an email list. That can also work, but in most cases, it's not going to be close as effective as having like your own organic list, which has grown to you basically just driving sales to your e-commerce store. That is always going to be the best thing. But yeah, if you have your list, either through whatever, through your store, you have it grown through lead gen campaigns, like the next step obviously is to start a relationship with those customers. You need some emails going out to them on a regular basis. And here, like a mistake often people make is that they use the email list just to sell something to people. With your email list, you can imagine it as a good friend. If you're always asking Jim for tips, for help, hey Jim, do this, do that, after a while, he's not going to be your friend anymore. You also need to have like a healthy relationship between the list and you can do that by also providing some value to the customers. So from time to time, sprinkle in some pure value-based campaigns, which are maybe your focus around the topic your store is based in. Maybe have a dog product store, a email about how to make sure your dog is happy, how to make sure your dog gets enough exercise and stuff like that. Something that really captivates the attention of that reader within that niche, and they're also immediately going to think of your brand better. They want to open up your emails more because they know you're not just selling them stuff, but you're also providing them about value. And through that, obviously, you're going to get to the end goal, which is getting more sales. Yeah, so here maybe to be a bit more specific and tactical in terms of like the email strategy. On the campaign side of things, you would maybe want to send out around 12 campaigns a month. That would be 3 campaigns a week. One campaign is one email with you would receive in Gmail. There were emails, there was a structures. I would recommend maybe 9 to 10 of them being focused around sales, and maybe 2 to 3 of them be focused around value. Pure value, and you should already at that point be on like a good pace to have a healthy revenue generating list.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm just taking it all in, man. I hope people caught all those details because you gave some really great stuff. So as the fundamentals of email are obviously campaigns and pushing buttons and inboxing, what are the more advanced things? And let's get into that now as we kind of got some of the fundamentals down in terms of the numbers and when we should send and what a value statement versus sales. Because I think a lot of people just think email is a daily sales thing. Maybe because a lot of corporations do that to us and fill our inboxes literally almost every day with coupons, discounts, all this stuff. Personally, don't believe that discounting and couponing is the best way to sell your products if you want to stay at, more maximum profit and obviously in the affinity space of your brand, as opposed to feeling like it's discounted. If you want to go for the Pradas and the Ferraris of the world versus the, Walmarts or Targets of the world in terms of where you want to take your brand, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Just understand that, there's a difference in brand approach. But with email and marketing and stuff, so as we get into holidays and periods of time when there's a lot of traffic and opportunity to really maximize sales and profitability, you mentioned Black Friday type of campaign structure. You want to break that down for us so we can kind of get our mind around it?
Sure thing. So with Black Friday, obviously that's the actual Black Friday week. It's end of November, but the preparation for you to have like a very solid Black Friday period would actually have to begin sooner, ideally early to mid-September, or in worst case scenario October, because if you have an email list where multiple stages you would ideally need to go through, if you have a bigger list, like the first thing you need to do is have to make sure you have re-engaged as much of your list as you can, because for example, if your list is 100k customers, you can't always send out an email to all those 100k customers. It's gonna have a negative effect. In the end, you're gonna get less sales than if you would just send out to your engaged customers. But the first thing, which is important, you also have to make sure that those unengaged customers, they have received the chance to become engaged. So late September, early October, have some re-engagement phase where you're contacting all of those unengaged customers to basically get them back into the loop, get them back to the engaged customer segment lists. And then once you have re-engaged those, then you head into like a warm-up phase where you're actively and very much only focused on building up the relationship with those customers and also building up the deliverability of your emails with your customers. You do that through 2 things. The first thing is that you actually tighten your sending segments. Tightening your sending segments basically means sending out to less people, but sending out to the most engaged people. That is going to naturally drive up your open rates, which is going to positively affect your domain reputation, which is going to mean your emails will have a higher chance of landing in a primary folder, which is then also obviously going to affect the open rate positively, so just basically creates a positive flywheel in terms of the email performance. And the second active thing is what we just talked about is value emails, educational emails, or emails which are basically based around value and giving something back to the customers. And this should basically be done late October, maybe 2-3 week period. We're just focused on building a more connection with the customers, giving them value, giving them something interesting that they remember your brand and that they know that you're not just selling stuff to them. And also like a very tactical campaign, which is more on the technical side, is a campaign focused solely on getting the customers to respond to that email. So it could be an email going out to your customer, something along the lines, hey, respond to this email with yes to show you're excited for Black Friday. Like this is an awful example,
Yeah.
but you get the gist. They
Yeah.
have to respond to the email. And why? Basically, this is because of how Gmail works. If Gmail sees that somebody replies to your email, it automatically prioritizes or basically whitelists your domain for that people's inbox. So next future emails are going to automatically land in the primary folder, which again just reincorporates into the positive flywheel of bumping up your open rates for that period of time. Then once we've re-engaged, warmed up the list, right now it's depending on how you want to structure your launch for Black Friday. You can do some lead generation for maybe some early bird offers. If not, then the first half of November basically should be focused on just hyping up the people about the sale. Do teasers, do basically just send announcement emails, let them know the specific date, the specific time the sale is going to be launching, create scarcity, create urgency. Maybe let them know you have like limited amount of bundles, a limited amount of time the offer is going to be available, just to create a lot of anticipation for the sale launch. Really go hard on that. And then usually in terms of the sale launch, we do that 1-2 weeks before the actual Black Friday date, and from that period you can go absolutely crazy with the email amount you're sending out. You can throw the 12 campaigns amount right out the window. During November, it's fine if you send out 20 to 30 emails a month, especially during those 2 weeks. Everybody is going to be blasting the list, so you might as well do it as well. Yeah, so that's how you crush Black Friday.
Awesome. I love it, dude. That's fantastic, man. That was a ton of value. There's so many things in what you just said that would probably, people were like, okay, I have got questions about how to make all of that happen. But obviously, you know your stuff, you know what you're doing very well. And clearly you bring that knowledge here to us today. So tell us a little bit more about what your agency is doing and what you're doing to kind of help people maybe manage that for them as opposed to doing it for themselves.
Sure thing. We are an email and SMS marketing agency. Right now we're mostly focused on e-commerce brands and also a bit of SaaS and info businesses. In terms of the e-commerce side of things, we basically have worked with any niche. So if you're selling dog products, food products, health products, beauty products, doesn't matter. We can come in, take a look at what you're currently doing with email marketing. If you already have something set up or nothing set up, we can see if we can help. And we can help you basically take everything over from A to Z, from technical side, the creative side, the implementation. And here the best thing with us that we are really flexible. When I mean we're very flexible, we are. So it's basically just comes down to terms like how you want us to work. Maybe there are certain cases where you already want us to work together with like a team member within your company. All of that can be arranged. And right now we're handling, I think, about 80 clients worldwide. And we have generated multiple 8 figures in terms of email revenue for our clients over the last 2.5 years. So, yeah.
Very cool, man. Yeah, you guys know your stuff, which is amazing. Any last thoughts, anything you want to share that maybe people should know about? Final tip, final thought?
Yeah, start doing email marketing. Email less smart. If you're not, now is the best time to do it as we head into Q4. If you start now, you're definitely going to thank me once November or December is over. So start emails and don't look back.
Great tips, great information, man. Appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, please share it with people you think will enjoy it as well. Thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next week for a brand new episode of High Voltage Business Builders.